edition of UI7 Newsbreak, you'll get to hear from Chris Kennedy, a candidate for Illinois governor.
Then we'll take a closer look at campus safety and how to keep your apartment protected over spring break from theft.
And finally, how one U of I instructor is teaching students hands-on methods for producing sustainable food in a thriving agricultural community.
Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio, this is your UI7 Newsbreak.
Hello, I'm Hannah Raja.
And I'm Stephen Cohn.
There may not have been any picketing this weekend, but that doesn't mean that the GEO didn't get any work done.
While members may have met behind closed doors, volunteers and supporters of the GEO's cause worked on making signs supporting the union. Other volunteers phone banked and tried to encourage people to take up the shifts on the picket lines. The GEO continues its fight after the university failed to meet its terms for a new contract. Union members claim that they will strike for as long as it takes to get a 3% wage increase and guaranteed tuition waivers for all graduate employees.
Today marks a week and a half since the GEO strike began. Last evening, protesters marched across the lawn outside the president's mansion. Some brought their sleeping bags to spend the night at his office inside the Henry Administration Building. Police blocked the building doors. The protesters said that they intend to stay until a fair contract is settled. University President Tim Killeen offered the following statement to the News-Gazette. I have been in close contact with Chancellor Jones and Provost Kangalaris throughout negotiations and during the strike. I trust that the scheduled talks with the federal mediator will bear fruit soon with a fair and reasonable agreement. We will always be firmly committed to both our graduate students and our undergraduates at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
In other local news, Chris Kennedy, a candidate for Illinois governor, came to town for a meet and greet in downtown Champaign. One question he was posed was how to deal with the university budget.
I want to add $1 billion to the university budgets in our state, and I want them to be what they are in other communities. That is the economic driver, the place where new knowledge is created, new knowledge that leads to the formation of new companies, that employ people who pay local taxes, fund local schools, and educate another generation ready to begin that economic cycle again and again.
Kennedy had originally planned to engage in a public debate with J.B. Pritzker, but his opponent canceled when it was determined that the event would no longer appear on local television.
Spring break is approaching for U of I students, and many have booked their vacation plans but don't feel too at ease. With the students away, spring break is an opportunity for theft and criminal activity on an unpopulated campus. Mike Foyles spoke with security at here.
Spring break is a time for many college students to let loose and be worry-free. But that's not easy if the safety of their campus belongings is in question. Theft is already a primary issue in campus and off-campus housing, and becomes more threatening with most units empty and less eyes keeping watch. Some students have had problems in the past when away from campus and want to be sure this time is different.
When I was a sophomore living at the fraternity house, I actually had an issue where someone broke into the house and went into my room and took out pretty much everything I didn't already take home. So I was missing a bunch of t-shirts, a bunch of food, and like a bunch of other stuff that I kind of needed when I came back.
If you're a student, you're worried about the safety of your belongings while you're away at spring break, the easiest thing you can do is simply lock your door. Here Apartments appears to be one of the safer housing options, with hallway cameras and around-the-clock security guards manning the entrance.
In times, especially when students aren't here all the time, we do a couple things differently than usual as far as like packages that get delivered during the day. When we're here, we just kind of, like take note of where packages are, so that way if there is an issue, we'll be able to track that.
The University of Illinois reported 32 cases of burglary over the past year, a number far above previous years, with 11 of those crimes occurring inside university residence halls. Even in supervised facilities, burglary is still prevalent, and you can never go too far to ensure the safety of your belongings.
Lock your doors.
For UI7 Newsbreak, I'm Mike Foyles.
I hope you got your share of the sun last weekend, because the sun will be making very few appearances this weekend. Friday, we're looking at a partly cloudy day with a high of 40 degrees and a slight chance of rain. Saturday, we continue the cloudy trend with a high of 47 degrees, but with no rain predicted. We'll end the weekend with a rainy Sunday and a high of 44 degrees.
Before we head to a commercial break, be sure to set your clocks ahead an hour this Sunday for daylight savings. The official time change is at 2 a.m. Now, a time for a quick word from our sponsors.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This Friday, we're filling in our brackets with GMI. This blue-haired fan has been cheering the Illini for the past 4 years. We were there for his last game.
And if that isn't enough, we're going to tell you where to find the best pad thai on campus.
Plus, one of our seniors is crossing off an item on their bucket list.
We have planned another full half hour for you this Friday.
Join us live at 9 a.m. by streaming us on YouTube.
And you can see highlights and all of our segments on Facebook.
Good morning, Illini.
So far this season, the Fighting Illini women's tennis team has made it clear that they are a top-ranked program, and they look to continue their string of success despite losing to Northwestern this weekend. Grace Cacheturian covered the action at Atkins Tennis Center.
Although the Wildcats came out on top, the Illinois women's tennis team is making a racket with a season stronger than ever before, but they are not satisfied yet. The University of Illinois women's tennis team has a victory-fed momentum that has them sitting number 6 in the nation. Their 10-2 season is keeping their confidence and goals stacked and the whole team hungry for success. As a team that plays to win, junior Jacqueline Switkus says the season's motto has kept them focused on being better than ever before.
I think first team meeting we said we will be successful, but we will not be satisfied, and it's really helped us because we're trying to take every match one at a time.
On Friday, the Illini hosted their first top 15 match against Northwestern. Although the Wildcats came out on top, the Illini are ready to put up a fight to keep their season strong. In order to keep the momentum going, Switkus says they need to keep working hard on and off the court as a team and individually. You can see the Fighting Illini women's tennis team is working hard to keep their history-making momentum going. Coach Clark says they have big hopes for upcoming matches.
In the Big Ten is, I think, a legitimate goal. Finish top 16, make the Sweet 16, host regionals is a huge goal of ours, and so. But everything that we're doing is a program first. So each time we achieve it, it's a special feeling, and so we'll continue to hopefully knock those things off our list.
This weekend, the Fighting Illini will have another chance to claim their spot as the Big Ten team to beat, with matches against Purdue and Indiana at the Atkins Tennis Center. Switkus says in order to keep the momentum, they need to keep their eyes steady on each match, and the success will come.
Really just focusing on this Big Ten season and taking care of business.
For UI7 News, I'm Grace Cacheturian.
Illinois men's tennis won both of its matches at Atkins Tennis Center over the weekends, but they weren't the only teams in action. Here's your Illini update. Over at Huff Hall, women's gymnastics secured a win over Lindenwood and Bowling Green, and they recorded a season-best team score of 196.7. The Illini captured 4 of 5 individual event titles. In out-of-town action, baseball also won all 3 games in Minneapolis, with wins over the likes of number 11 ranked UCLA, Arizona, and Washington. The team is now 6-3 this season, and they are on the verge of cracking the top 25 among various national outlets. Likewise, wrestling traveled to East Lansing for the Big Ten Championships. Senior Isaiah Martinez won his 4th Big Ten title, and in doing so, he became just the 16th wrestler to ever accomplish the feat. As a team, Illinois finished 8th out of 14 that competed in the conference meet. 5 Illini wrestlers are guaranteed an appearance at the NCAA Championships in 2 weeks, but several others have the opportunity to make it as an at-large bid in Cleveland, Ohio. Those pairings are announced at 5 p.m.
As spring approaches, so does rugby season. Although most athletes gravitate to the baseball, basketball, and football, the Champaign County Flatlanders encourage all athletes to try out rugby. On Tuesday, the group held its first open practice at Centennial Field in Champaign, and it hopes to get new members to come out for the spring season. The team holds open practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m., which will primarily serve to recruit new members for both a high school and men's level team.
89-year-old June Rao always dreamed of riding a Zamboni, and with the help of her physical therapist, she's now able to scratch another item off her bucket list.
This is a way to give her something else to be excited about. I said, June, you really want to take that Zamboni ride? I can make it happen. And she just looked at me like, you're kidding. No. She just beamed every time we talked about it. She get this grin on her face. It was contagious, so. See you later.
Being able to take June Rowell on the Zamboni with me tonight is like, it may have been a bucket list for her, but it's a bucket list for me also. Because Junie is aging, and you just never know. And to be able to spend that special time with her and see that smile on her face, that's what it's all about.
It was fun. It was a good experience. I'll never forget this ever.
Being in a bustling college town, students at the U of I might forget that they are in the middle of a thriving agricultural community. But Matt Torino is teaching students valuable farming skills as the manager of UIUC's Student Sustainable Farm. Here's this edition of See You Neighbor.
Matt Torino didn't grow up in a farming community, but a passion for sustainability and environmental studies has resulted in him managing the UIUC Student Sustainable Farm.
I feel like we're kind of just like a good gateway experience for people to kind of really just get their feet wet and learning about how to grow food generally for themselves, or if they maybe want to work on a farm in the future. We have an aging farmer population in this country, so I think it's going to be really important for there to be interest of young people into growing food.
Students who work at the farm appreciate Torino's managing style for his laid-back attitude and ability to easily explain farming practices.
He's always been a good boss, very laid back, very knowledgeable about farming, but he's also very instructive in terms of telling why we're doing certain things, how to do it well, and how it's going to save us time in the long run.
Behind me, Matt is seeding collard flats to be planted in April.
So 85% of what we grow goes straight to the dining halls. We also have a processing facility here on campus that's able to take tomatoes and hot peppers and sweet peppers and greens and preserve them so that it can be accessible to the dining halls when we may not actually have them growing in the field. So that's been a big step up for us as far as how much we can produce here at the Sustainable Student Farm. I love growing vegetables, and it's really great to be able to share that passion and love with people who have very little experience with it.
In Urbana, Amy Frankel, UI7 Newsbreak.
It's National Cereal Day, Hannah, so what's your favorite kind of cereal?
You know, I would definitely go with Reese's Puffs, but Stevie, what goes first, the cereal or the milk?
I always put my cereal in first, but that's all I got. So that's it for today's UI7 Newsbreak. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
In order to stay up to date with all of our latest content, make sure to follow us on Twitter, give us a like on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.